This is IGN. Confident and charismatic, James Bond's long-awaited return to games is the best since GoldenEye. This is your IGN review of 007 First Light by Luke Riley. First Light's greatest success is just how impressively developer IO Interactive has executed on its mission to create something it can call its own within a very established universe. What we get is something that's unmistakably Bond, and respectfully adjacent to everything that has come before it, but confidently occupies its own space as a uniquely separate take. That is, it never seems like a situation akin to 2001's 007 Agent Under Fire, which felt like the series was in a holding pattern before EA cut another check for Pierce Brosnan. No, this is a fastidiously assembled world of its very own, inspired in all the key ways by the work of creator Ian Fleming and the expectations bred by the films, but tailored to IO's take on the series like a bespoke suit. First Light has its own M, its own Q, and its own Bond. First Light doesn't rush the world building, patiently moving through Bond's first encounter with MI6 as a Royal Navy aircrewman in the wrong place at the wrong time, to his initial 00 training, and onto his transformative first field mission that sets up the core story to come. It feels perfectly suited to sit back and play, say, a chapter at a time. There are 17 overall. The pace of both the action and the story is excellent, crescendoing brilliantly in its final act as the stakes explode, along with everything else. First Light's pace also allows us to marinate with the new riffs on the characters for a lot longer, which helps immensely. There's no doubt that coming out of the gate with such a young version of Bond was a risk. Irish actor Patrick Gibson's portrayal of a Bond in his late 20s and brand new to the world of international espionage is not initially the one we know. He's an archetypal hotshot, cocky and inexperienced. He's a successfully suave ladies' man already, but encumbered with a little too much misplaced confidence elsewhere. However, this gives Gibson's Bond room to grow as he becomes a product of the all-new role models he's suddenly found himself surrounded by. With IO Interactive being the home of the Hitman series since its inception way back in the year 2000, First Light admittedly shares some very obvious DNA with its bald and bar-coded stablemate. Running on the studio's in-house engine, the look and feel are immediately familiar. For the most part, this is a strength. Bond feels weighty and grounded as he smoothly moves, climbs, and vaults around, and First Light typically looks quite fabulous, from its crowded clubs to its wide-open natural spaces. First Light also repurposes a lot of Hitman's distraction-based sneaking. For instance, you can still turn on loud items and such to lure guards from their posts, only in this case, it's something Bond can do from afar thanks to the embrace of gadgets. Gadgets are obviously a core component of the 007 fantasy, and First Light features an array of them, including a missile pen. I should note that this isn't simply Agent 47 by the way of His Majesty's Secret Service, and there are a bunch of bespoke tweaks here that imbue First Light with its own very distinctly Bond-branded flourishes. His abilities as a brawler put 47s to shame, and there's a layered system of dodges, counters, and satisfyingly devastating environment attacks. Melee combat is perhaps a little clunky at times, particularly when Bond finds himself swarmed, but it is nonetheless a major distinction from the Hitman series. Demonstrably obsessed with bringing the Bond fantasy to life in a way no game has ever managed before, developer IO Interactive has found a highly successful home for the more curated action stealth formula of 2012's Hitman Absolution. Patiently paced, First Light is brimming with Bond's trinity of gadgets, guns, and girls, in a way that feels fresh but reverent, and never like parody. The evolution of this risky young Bond over the course of the story also feels logical and earned. Take a bow, IO, and put your clothes on. 007 First Light's IGN score? 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Jackson, Tony Jackson. And for the latest updates on 007, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.